Welcome. In our channel. Drop a comment and let me know where you're watching from. I'm super curious. Hi, I'm Luna. I'm 16, and while most people see me as just another quiet girl, my life is anything but ordinary. I keep to myself, lost in books and daydreams, trying to make sense of a world that never quite feels like it fits me. My life is a careful balance, between hiding and hoping, between fear and freedom. And there's a secret I guard with everything I have. My family and I recently moved to a small town called Whispering Pines, tucked deep in the forest. My mom, Celine, said it was for a fresh start, but I knew better. She was always on edge, her eyes darting around like she expected something to jump out at any moment. She constantly reminded me to stay hidden and keep my secret. That secret. Every night, as the moon rose, I slipped into the woods and transformed into a unicorn. It was an incredible form, shimmering white coat, a horn glowing like moonlight. Under the cover of darkness I was free, a creature of magic, running wild and unbound. But by day I was just Luna again, avoiding mirrors, hiding under a hood, living a double life that was both thrilling and exhausting. I didn't really fit in at school either. I didn't seek out friends or try to belong to any group. Getting close to anyone could be dangerous, for them and for me. So I stayed on the edges, watching life unfold from a distance. Then there was Jasper. He was different. An artist who always seemed to have a sketchbook in hand, drawing and observing. There was something about him. His eyes saw more than he let on, and he'd been watching me since the first day I arrived. His presence made me feel both intrigued and uneasy. One day after school, he cornered me by my locker. "Hey Luna," he said. "You always wear that hood. Is there a reason?" I shrugged, trying to sound casual. "Just keeps me warm." He raised an eyebrow. "There's something more, isn't there? You're always hiding." I laughed nervously, trying to deflect. "What about you? Always drawing." Jasper flipped open his sketchbook and showed me a detailed drawing of a unicorn. My heart skipped a beat. "The other night, while walking through the woods, I found some strange tracks in the snow," he said. "So I did a little research. Maybe unicorns are real." I tried to keep my expression neutral, though panic bubbled beneath the surface. "Unicorns aren't real, Jasper." He looked at me, eyes sparkling with curiosity. "What if they are? What if there's something magical out there we don't know about?" I forced a smile, dread rising inside me. "Maybe, but I wouldn't worry about it." Despite my attempts to brush him off, Jasper's curiosity only grew. He kept asking questions, not in a nosy way, but with genuine interest. But the closer he came to the truth, the more uncomfortable I felt. The next day, while walking to the bookstore to get a new journal, I saw 3 men and 2 women stepping out of a black SUV. Everyone wore the same dark suits. I stayed hidden in the shadows and overheard them talking to the local sheriff. Something about their high-tech gadgets and serious expressions didn't sit right with me. They were searching for something. I couldn't shake the feeling it might be me. That night I told my mom what I'd seen. Her anxiety spiked immediately. She rushed to the closet, pulled down an old photo album, and flipped through pages until she stopped at a newspaper clipping. The same faces stared back at me. "Luna," she whispered, voice trembling. "The OSS is here. And they're not what they seem." I looked at her, confused. "Who is the OSS?" She gripped my shoulders. "The Office of Supernatural Sightings. They hunt magical creatures. If they find out what you are, they'll capture you. Use you. You must stay hidden. But I need to go out at night. It's the only time I truly feel alive." Her eyes filled with tears. "I know, sweetheart. But it's too dangerous now. Please promise me you'll be careful." I nodded, but deep down I knew it was a promise I might not be able to keep. The pull of the forest, the freedom, it was too strong. That night I snuck out as usual, but the presence of the OSS was everywhere. Their advanced sensors and patrols made it clear. They were hunting. My heart raced as I moved through the trees, careful to stay unseen. But in my panic, I left behind something. strands of my magical mane caught on a branch. The next day, Jasper found them while sketching in the woods. Intrigued, he examined them closely. Later, he approached me in the hallway, holding them up with excitement. "Luna, look what I found." He held them to the light, and they sparkled with cosmic energy. "They're different. Almost magical." I tried to laugh it off, but his gaze was unwavering. "You think this is magic?" He nodded. Then he looked deeply into my eyes, like he could see through every wall I'd built. "There's something about you, Luna. And you've been acting strangely lately." A rush of anxiety hit me. "I don't know what you're talking about." His frustration showed. "Come on, Luna. I'm not trying to pry. I just want to understand. Is there something you're hiding?" I hesitated, torn between fear and the longing to trust someone who genuinely cared. But before I could answer, my mom appeared and pulled me away. "The OSS is intensifying their search," she said urgently. "They've set traps in the forest. We need to leave before it's too late." I crossed my arms. "I'm not leaving. I've been running all my life. I want to stay." Mom looked at Jasper. "You can't risk everything over a boy. You don't understand how serious this is." "I do understand," I replied. "And Jasper is my friend. I trust him." She scoffed and walked off, clearly upset. I turned to Jasper, took a deep breath, and met his eyes. "There's something I've been hiding from you. Something I thought you'd never understand." My hands twisted nervously as I led him into an empty classroom. I'm a unicorn." As the words left my lips, a soft glow surrounded me, and a shimmering horn slowly appeared on my forehead, lighting up the room with gentle magic. I watched his face carefully, afraid he'd turn away, but hoping beyond hope that he'd stay. Instead, his face softened, and a smile spread across his lips. He reached out, gently touching my glowing horn, fingers trembling with awe. "I always knew there was something magical about you," he whispered. "Thank you for trusting me enough to share this." He laughed softly. "You're beautiful, Luna. All of you." In the days that followed, Jasper and I spent countless hours together, working on a plan to outsmart the OSS. His artistic talents became crucial. We created maps, false tracks, anything to throw them off. As we worked side by side, our bond grew stronger. For the first time, I didn't feel alone. Someone understood me, not just the girl but the unicorn too. One afternoon, Jasper voiced a troubling thought. "What if they catch you despite our efforts? What if they find out everything?" I took a deep breath. "They want to control me, to use me. But having you help me means everything. I've never had someone stand by me like this before." He reached out and gently touched my arm. "I won't let them catch you. I'll do everything I can to keep you safe." His words brought relief, but also a growing fear. The OSS was getting closer, and time was running out. On the night of the final confrontation, the pressure was intense. The OSS had ramped up their search with advanced tech and traps. Mom was frantic, barely able to focus. Jasper arrived with determination in his eyes. "We have one last chance. If we can make them believe the unicorn has left town, they'll stop searching." He worked tirelessly through the night, setting up diversions and fake evidence. Using his artistic skills, he created elaborate false tracks leading the OSS in circles. I used my unicorn magic to enhance the illusion, making it seem like I had been everywhere at once. It was exhausting, but we were driven by hope. As dawn approached, the OSS began packing up, convinced they were chasing a false trail. Jasper turned to me, concern in his eyes. "Are you okay?" I nodded, tears welling up. "I'm just grateful. Thank you, Jasper, for everything." He smiled, though sadness lingered. "I'd do it again in a heartbeat. You deserve to be free." With Ioa's gone, a sense of peace settled over me. The weight of my secret felt lighter. I wasn't alone anymore. Jasper had been a beacon of hope in my darkest moments. Though the threat of their return still hung in the air, life in Whispering Pines slowly returned to normal. I continued being Luna during the day, but the nights were still mine. Jasper and I kept meeting in secret, and our friendship grew deeper. Then one evening, as we walked through the forest together, Jasper turned to me. "Luna, what do you want for the future?" I thought for a moment, the weight of my dual existence heavy on my shoulders. "I want to find a place where I can be both Luna and the unicorn. A place where I don't have to hide." Jasper smiled, his eyes shining with determination. "We'll find it together." We walked on in comfortable silence, the moon casting a gentle glow on the path ahead. There was still uncertainty, but there was also hope. Jasper's presence reminded me that I wasn't alone, that there was someone who truly cared and believed in my future. In the days that followed, we continued navigating the challenges of keeping my secret while building a life in a small town. We shared our dreams, fears, and hopes. Our friendship deepened. Jasper's sketches became a chronicle of our journey, a record of the magic and struggles we faced together. One night, as we sat together by a stream in the forest, Jasper asked, "Luna, what's the most important thing you've learned through all of this?" I reflected on the journey, the challenges, the moments of connection. "I've learned that even in the darkest times, there's always a light. It might come from unexpected places, like a friend who believes in you. And sometimes, the magic we seek is within ourselves." Jasper nodded thoughtfully. "I think you're right. And I believe that with your strength and our friendship, we can face whatever comes our way." We sat together under the moonlight, the stream murmuring gently beside us. The future was still uncertain, but with Jasper by my side, I was ready to face whatever lay ahead. Of course. Here's a continuation and a new ending for the story, one that's emotional, meaningful, and leaves a lasting impression. The days turned into weeks, and life in Whispering Pines settled into something almost peaceful. The Oasis had vanished from town, but their presence still lingered in the corners of my mind like a shadow I couldn't quite shake. Still, I found comfort in the rhythm of my days, in the quiet moments between classes, in Jasper's laughter as he flipped through his sketchbook, and in the moonlit nights when I could finally be myself beneath the canopy of trees. Jasper and I grew closer, not just as friends, but as partners in this strange, magical journey we never expected to share. He helped me see that being different wasn't something to fear, it was something worth protecting. And in return, I think I helped him see that magic wasn't just something you read about or drew in the margins of your notebook. It was real. It lived in courage, in trust, in the people who stood by you even when the world tried to pull you apart. One night, under a sky painted with stars, Jasper showed me something new, a drawing unlike any other he'd done before. It was of me. Not Luna the girl, not the unicorn, but both together, glowing with light, standing at the edge of the forest. Around me, the trees shimmered like they were alive, and in the background, faint outlines of creatures I'd never seen before. Dragons, fairies, centaurs, watching silently from the shadows. "Do you see it?" he asked softly. "This is who you are. Not just hidden, not just hunted, but free." I didn't speak right away. My throat tightened as I looked at the image, at the way he saw me. Not as a secret, not as a burden, but as something beautiful. "I don't know how you always know what to say," I whispered. He smiled. "You don't have to say anything. Just keep being who you are. That's enough." But change was coming. Not long after that, we received news that the OSS had been spotted again, this time in a neighboring town. They hadn't given up. And this time they weren't alone. There were rumors of others like them, agencies formed not just to find magical beings, but to control them. My mom wanted to leave again. This time she said we wouldn't come back. But I wasn't the same girl who had arrived in Whispering Pines, afraid and unsure of herself. I was stronger now. And I knew one thing for certain. I didn't want to run anymore. So I made a choice. I gathered everything I needed. My journals, my sketches with Jasper, a few strands of my mane sealed in a small vial, and I walked into the heart of the forest one last time. But I didn't go alone. Jasper came with me. Together we found a clearing bathed in moonlight, where the air shimmered with energy. I closed my eyes and let the transformation take over. Not just the physical change but something deeper. Release. Declaration. I called out, not with words but with magic. And they answered. Creatures emerged from the shadows, beings I had only heard about in myths and dreams. A dragon with silver wings. Fae with eyes like fireflies. A wolf with markings that glowed like constellations. They didn't speak in voices but in thoughts, in feelings. You are not alone. Jasper watched in awe, not afraid, just amazed. I looked at him, tears in my eyes. They're real, I whispered. He nodded. So are you. We stayed there until dawn, speaking with the others, learning their stories, understanding our place in a world far bigger than either of us had imagined. When we returned to town, my mom was waiting. She saw the look on my face, the peace, the certainty, and she didn't ask questions. She just pulled me into her arms and held me close. Later that night, Jasper and I sat on the edge of the woods, watching the sunrise. You're staying, aren't you? He asked. He nodded. Not just here. In this world. In my skin. In my truth. He smiled. Then I'm staying too. And so we did.